with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
America's kids are returning to class, in school and at home. And this year, learning is especially tough on students who already struggle with poverty, emotional trauma, and other barriers.
That's where our organization, Communities in Schools, can help. For years, we've had caring adults inside schools, helping these students stay in school.
And now, we are taking our work beyond the school walls, tutoring, mentoring, and counseling students, providing resources for at-home learning,
delivering meals, providing household supplies, connecting kids with online classrooms, and using technology to maintain the one-on-one relationships we know can transform the lives of students and their families.
We are doing whatever it takes to make sure all kids have the opportunity to learn and succeed.
Communities in Schools, going wherever we are needed to help those students who are most in need thrive.
To see how you can help kids succeed, visit communitiesinschools.org. That's communitiesinschools.org.
We all love the beach in the summer, but just because we're having fun doesn't mean we can forget about safety. Rip currents account for 80% of beach rescues and can be dangerous or deadly. It's simple stuff, but we can't take it for granted. Know before you go. Check local beach forecasts before you head to the beach, and always swim near lifeguards. Look for any warning signs or flags. If you're unsure about conditions, ask a lifeguard. If you do happen to be caught in a rip current, stay calm. It won't pull you under. It'll just pull you away from shore. If you try to fight the rip current and swim against it, you'll just get worn out. Instead, float. Swim parallel to shore until you've cleared the pool of the rip current. Swim with the waves, allowing them to push you to shore. And stay calm. You can stay safe and continue to have fun in the surf, sand, and sun.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, WVLQ Port St. John, Power by Pepsi, ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the next evolution of Sports Talk Radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you gotta bet. The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. It is now Friday. Jay, it's been a week.
It has.
Congratulations on your first week here on the Inside Drive. Live on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're sitting here inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. You can listen live and local here on 104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 along the Forgotten Coast, as well as 102.1 up in Mariana, all the way up to Dothan. And Jay, you were even talking to somebody yesterday in that southwest Georgia corridor.
I was. 102.1 Mariana
is sliding all the way up there, and they were listening.
They were.
That's awesome. People tuning in. We may have some people call in from that area later on today.
Donaldsonville, Georgia.
Donaldsonville.
Yes,
see,
sir.
there you go. I'm sure everybody knows where it is down here. It's right up the road.
It is.
But no, we're excited. It's Friday. We got a great show lined up for you. Coach, the big caller today is Coach Trey Jones. He's the FSU golf program director of golf, as well as the head men's golf coach at FSU. He's going to be joining us at 12:20. So make sure you tune into that. Trey's had some pretty unbelievable athletes come through his program over the last 20 years, and they're getting ready for their NCAA regional bid, which is coming up here pretty soon. Obviously, I'm Ryan Mulvey, joined by Jay Henley, both golfers out there at Bay Point Golf Club, the general manager there, and Jay's our director of instruction. We've got a huge tournament going on right now. We've got it rock and rolling this morning. The Gulf Coast Children's Advocacy Center is having a big fundraising tournament. 30 teams out there having a lot of fun on this beautiful Cinco de Mayo.
It is. I can feel the humidity starting to creep in. I think this is it until September or October.
Yeah, if you start to look at the forecast, which again, I'll take hot and humid over cold and rainy any day.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it looks like next week that weather's going to be a little more how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Early May is not supposed to be, in the upper 50s, low 60s in the morning and the mid 70s in the afternoon. That's just not typical weather. So we've had a great week to enjoy it. That's for sure.
We have.
So come out and see us this weekend. We have another tournament tomorrow. I saw Vince out there yesterday getting some stuff loaded up. He's so amped up. He's such an excitable guy. That's the Bayhaven Foundation's doing another golf tournament with us tomorrow. Then we also have breakfast going on Saturday from 8 to 11. And then Sunday, we've got Sunday brunch coming up again. The weather's going to be absolutely perfect for it. Come out and grab a bite to eat. Breakfast runs from 8 to 11. Our brunch is official from 11 to 2. Mark Naps will be strumming on the guitar and singing all afternoon long. So come out and hang out. You don't have, people always ask, is Bay Point open to the public? Yeah, we're open to the public on golf, food and beverage, any of that stuff you want to come out and do, instruction, that is all open to the public. We, of course, have memberships available as well. And don't forget about our local pass, Bay County as well as the 5 surrounding counties. We do a quarterly local pass. People always say to me, too, I don't play that much golf. That's the beauty about the local pass. It's not a membership where you're paying membership dues, whether you play golf or not. The local pass, you pay a one-time registration fee, you get a free round of golf, and then you play for a reduced rate. So basically, if you play twice in that quarter, you're saving money. Yeah. And then every other round of golf you play beyond that, you're saving more money. But it's based on consumption. So people are like, I'm not going to play that much. I don't want to sign up for it. But if you play twice or more, it's a heck of a deal. So golf course is in fantastic shape. Dustin and the whole crew out there are doing a wonderful job. And then as we've mentioned all week, we've got the Bay Point Billfish Open coming up. That's going to run from June 28th through July 1st, with the actual fishing tournament running from June 29th through July 2nd. July 2nd, yes. Yep. 2nd is the award ceremony on that Sunday, and it's going to be a great tournament. We're really looking forward to hosting that as well. We've been talking about the local baseball and softball all week, and the district tournaments culminated last night. Couple losses, couple wins. Mosley unfortunately went down in the 6A District 2 district championship game last night to Leon. They lost 7-4, but I'm assuming going to be heading on to the state playoffs here soon. And then we may have Coach Patton call in later this morning to tell us a little bit more about their huge victory last night against Franklin County 4-3 in the 1A District 4 district championship. So they'll obviously be heading on to the state playoff tournament in 1A. And then over to the softball side of things, another district championship from our county. You had North Bayhaven with an 11-9 win over Walton, who was the number 1 seed in that district tournament. So congratulations to all the boys and girls on those teams on winning their respective district tournaments. And we're excited to see, I think we're going to have several local teams moving on to that state playoff. So we'll keep you posted on that. I know all the state playoff tournaments start next Wednesday, May 10th, with the regions moving on hopefully to that Final Four. And we'll keep track and see how everybody's doing, and maybe get some coaches and players to talk to us as well about all the success that's going on. As always, our phone lines are open right now. That phone number is 850-215-6290. You can call or text, and of course you can always watch us live on Facebook, even though everybody tells us we have faces for radio. Right. They are streaming this too live on Facebook, Twitch, as well as YouTube, and then you can always download the free ESPN Northwest Florida app in the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Just make sure you search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, or you could always go to ESPNPC.com and click Listen Live. Tiger TV Pro is also on that app as well as the website. Tiger TV Pro is a great way if you're looking to ditch that cable or satellite costing you $150-$200 a month. I might be doing something like that soon, especially with the NFL Sunday Ticket moving away from DirecTV. Now I have literally no reason to keep DirecTV. You got to sign up for Tiger TV Pro. It's got over 6,000 channels, including SEC, ACC, NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, Showtime, HBO, and much more. And it's just $15 a month. You just need a good internet connection and $15 a month. If you want to go sign up for that, you visit ESPNPC.com, scroll down and see the Tiger TV button, click it, and follow the instructions from there. And there you go, $15 a month. You really can't beat that. I know David is a Tiger TV subscriber, and he absolutely loves it.
Local channels?
100%, baby. Let's go.
Local channels too, David? Is that?
You get all kind of local channels. I mean, if with your wife or your kids or everything, you keep them happy. It's not just 100% sports, but for the sports nuts out there, you cannot go wrong with Tiger TV Pro. It's got it all.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
I wanted to touch on real quick. I know it's been a hot topic in sports. We talked about it briefly yesterday, and then it actually broke that the baseball coach did get fired. But a little more information has come out. I know David in the Afternoon Underdogs, who you can listen to right here on ESPN Northwest Florida every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. What kind of came out, and I don't know if this is 100% confirmed, but the sportsbook surveillance indicated that a person was communicating with Alabama head coach Brad Bohannon while placing bets. So it was in direct communication with the coach while placing bets when games are going on. I just don't understand. Alabama's kind of, maybe they have a gambling class that a lot of these athletes take as an elective, and they just get really excited about it and they can't handle it. But, stay away from betting. If you are in pro sports, college sports, high school sports, don't bet. It's as simple as that. And I know betting is so easy nowadays, especially if it's legal in your state with all these various apps, DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesar Sportsbook, all that stuff. But just stay away from betting.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably never going to be able to coach in college or the pros ever again.
Yeah. He shouldn't even be allowed to coach Little League anymore after that.
That's right. I got some parlays running for some Little League in the Bay County Interleague, so let's not get into that.
Well, it was many years ago where the NBA referees got kind of in some trouble about that as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. Yeah. It's probably, I've never been in that position, so I really can't speak to it. It's probably extremely tempting, especially when you have the ability to potentially manipulate and make some stuff happen. We'll put in this relief pitcher instead of this relief pitcher and blow the save, and then, because if you're betting on your team winning, that's one thing, because you can't guarantee that your team's going to win, but you can certainly influence the game when it comes to losing.
Right. Absolutely. I don't get it.
And I mean, golf, I can see people betting on themselves in golf, which is probably fine, because that's a whole nother ballgame.
That is. Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
But I thought, it's just a lot of crazy stuff, and I like to give, I spent a lot of time with Coach Hale on the morning show, and always like to give him a bunch of crap about Alabama. So he was texting the show yesterday when the news was coming out about it, and then about 30 minutes later is when it broke that the coach was getting fired and stepping down. So, but Alabama didn't seem to miss their coach last night. I think it was a grand slam in the 8th inning. They ended up beating Vandy. So,
wow,
maybe it was a good thing for the team.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
You never know.
I don't know. One of the other cool things I wanted to touch on, obviously, I coach youth volleyball, and my daughter's huge into volleyball. And just wanted to mention, I was talking to you before the show last night. The middle school team that I coach, who my daughter's in 5th grade, but the way it worked out, she's allowed to play in elementary and middle school. Had the last game of the regular season against the number 1 seed, and they brought the energy and the heat last night. We ended up losing, but it was against the number 1 seed who has not lost a game all season. We took them to 3 sets. The energy was fantastic. We ended up losing that 3rd set 15-11, but super proud of the Suns. I took over for Chris Fall. I think we talked about this yesterday. I took over for Chris Fall's first youth volleyball team for the middle school division out there with Southern Elite Sports, and they're a great group of kids, and they all came together yesterday. I've been pushing all season energy. We talked about it all week. Culture, excitement, energy, encouragement. Yeah. It's not just a coach that has to do that. It has to come from the team, and you need leaders on the team, because accountability, I feel, is so much stronger when it comes from your peers, from people you are playing on the court, the field, the arena, whatever it may be with. And last night, they just flipped a switch. Yeah. They were cheering every play, doing all their volleyball cheers, celebrate. Even when you don't get the points, you still have to celebrate, because there's so much stuff going on in volleyball. But kudos to the Lady Suns. We'll be starting the playoffs next week. And then the Dynasty, who everybody knows Dynasty for flag football. We also have Dynasty Youth Volleyball as well as adult flag football. Not that I'm trying to build a brand. Go follow us on Facebook. They're 2nd seed going into the elementary school playoff teams. The number 1 seed, Teal Tornadoes, is a fantastic elementary team. But we're looking forward to taking another shot. They ended up winning the championship in the fall, and I'm just so proud of Brent and everybody with Southern Elite Sports. The fall volleyball was awesome. There was, I think, 5 or 6 teams in elementary and maybe 4 in middle school. This season it's almost doubled. And if you want to go watch some awesome younger division volleyball, the middle school at Southern Elite Sports is just super competitive, energetic, tons of people in that gym every night. So just proud to be a part of that and see how quickly it's grown. Because we have got some great high school volleyball programs, and it goes back to everything we talk about. You're trying to keep that pipeline of good athletes, coachable athletes, positive attitude athletes, all these kids moving up into middle school, then moving up to high school. And that's what, keeps our area, the Florida Panhandle, on the map, making sure we're sending high school teams to the state championship in various sports. Speaking of that, last night, I don't have a ton of detail on it, but I know 3 people from Arnold High School had some really great, I'm assuming it's the district championship. You had Eddie Keprin. He was the winner of the regionals in the 800. Carson King, he advanced to the state in the 1600. And then Maddie Nichols breaks the school record in the 800 with a time of 2 minutes, 26 seconds, 26.9 seconds. So some awesome stuff coming out of the track program over there at Arnold High School, who Tom Deaver is actually a member of Bay Point Golf Club. I was trying to get him to call in this morning, and he may still to give us a better update of how that went down. So it's that time of year, lots of playoffs going on for high school sports, and a lot of local teams making some stuff happen. Speaking of volleyball, that was my kind of segue getting into it. Just down the road, have you ever watched college beach volleyball, Jay?
A little bit, not a lot.
It's for reasons that different than you probably are watching it for. It's really competitive and a lot of fun. And we've got a local team, FSU, Florida State. They're number 4 in the country, number 4 seed in the playoff tournament that gets underway today. Actually, just down the road in Gulf Shores.
Oh, wow.
They're playing the entire national championship there in Gulf Shores. I know FSU, I think, won the national championship. I don't know if it was last year, but it might have been 2 years ago. Probably last year, because I think 2 years ago was COVID, so they weren't playing the championships.
Is this 2-on-2, or is this...
Yeah, it's 2-on-2, but you don't just have 2 on each team. Usually they have 4 or a few more because you sub in occasionally, but you've got your 2 best that are usually out there most of the time. But I don't know if you've ever played beach volleyball before. I played a lot at Coastal Carolina, being at the beach. We played a lot of beach volleyball, and it is not easy. Jumping in the sand is something that, they make it look so easy, but moving around quickly in that sand, that's why a lot of people train in the sand, because it makes your legs stronger, makes you jump faster, all that good stuff. But you've got Texas A&M Corpus Christi is facing off against the number 1 seed UCLA at 10 o'clock. Long Beach State is going against just down the road California University, Berkeley. They're playing at 11 o'clock, and you got several Florida teams in here as well. You've got FIU, who's the 13 seed. They're playing Florida State at 12 p.m. Eastern time, so 11 o'clock. That's actually going on right now.
Okay.
Like how I just realized that.
Yeah.
I should have paid attention earlier when I was looking at this. You can stream all of this on ESPN Plus, so we may have to pull that up and see how it's going. You got Florida Atlantic playing against SEC big-time team LSU. That's going to be at 12 p.m. our time. Stetson going against TCU. Texas Christian University having some deep playoff runs in multiple sports. So that'll be at 1 p.m. our time. Stanford at Grand Canyon is at 2 p.m. our time. Georgia State right there from up in Atlanta, which is kind of a crazy thought that they'd have a really, really good beach volleyball team. They're number 14 seed in the tournament. And then they're playing USC at 3 p.m. our time. And then it culminates tonight at 5 p.m. with Hawaii at LMU. I'm going to guess that's maybe Lamar. Not really sure what LMU is, but good luck to all the women's beach volleyball teams as they embark on the national championship journeys. And we'll be pulling for Florida State here locally, as we'd love for them to get another national championship.
Beach volleyball is an Olympic sport, right?
It is. And we've had some pretty good teams in beach volleyball, the Carson Cries and the Kent Steffes and guys like that.
Yeah.
Loyola, thank you, Don Walton. Loyola Marymount University. Perfect. See, people are listening. They're helping me out.
Yeah.
And Coach Manley also just texted me in and said we had several qualifiers for the state tournament from the Bay High track team as well. I may not be able to pronounce these names too well, but I know the last name is DeShizer in discus, Dunlap in the 110-meter hurdles, Sudeth qualified in the 100 and 200, and then Shamir Walton in the triple jump, which is awesome. You know what the triple jump is, Jay?
Is that 3 jumps?
Yeah, that was good. Triple and 3.
Yeah,
way to figure that out.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's like the long jump, except you got to take 3 big jumps and then you're in the sand.
Gotcha.
So that is not easy. That's for sure. So good luck to the Bay High track qualifiers as well. And if anybody's got any more information of other schools that maybe qualify for track, please text me or text the show at 850-215-6290. Hey, we do have Mr. Tom Deaver on the line. Are you out there, Tom?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Thank you for calling. I was texting with Britt this morning, and I was like, I hope he can call in, because I just saw his post, which didn't go into a ton of detail about that. We've got about 3 or 4 minutes before we hit this break. So if you just want to give us a quick rundown of everybody was that the district championships that you all were running yesterday?
No, we were at the regionals.
Regionals,
yesterday.
okay, got it.
We were at the regionals at the University of North Florida yesterday, and it was great atmosphere and everything. And we had, of course, Eddie Kepperin won the regionals in a time of 1:53.50, so he'll move on to state next week, which is also back at University of North Florida. And currently he has the fastest time of the 800 in 3A for this meet. So he'll be seeded number 1 going into the regional meet.
Wow.
Also, we'll have Carson King running the 1600 in there. He'll have an opportunity to make podium. And on just a sidebar, we had Maddie Nichols, who is just a sophomore for us. She broke the school record in the 800. So overall, and then we also had a gentleman by the name of Dylan Kirkland, who is our pole vaulter, broke his school record. So it was overall a good day. I know Eddie is, as you well know, is committed to the University of Florida and everything. So we're pretty excited about that. And then Carson King's committed to the University. I mean, they both already signed. He's with the University of West Florida.
Awesome stuff you've got going on over there, and we obviously wish them big time luck in the state finals and playoffs, and hopefully we can bring some hardware back to Panama City Beach.
Well, let me tell you what, they're the kind of kids that you love to coach because basically they just do what you say. I mean, they buy into the training. They'll call me up and say, "Okay, what am I doing today? What am I doing?" Or they'll say, "You tell me what I'm going to do because I'm only going to do what you tell me to do." And so it's really to have those kind of kids, and they have great parents who support it, and their teammates, and just a great atmosphere.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know Jeremy fairly well. He's coached a couple of my kids in youth sports, and love to see Carson doing so well, and just love to see our kids from this area going on to that such high level, and then moving on to college as well. It's just a testament to what you're doing over there with your program, and we can't thank you enough for calling in, and keep us posted on how it goes. When's the next meet happening? When's the finals going on?
We have state meet 2 weeks from today. It's interesting. Carson will be running at 6:35 p.m. and Eddie will be running at 7:55 p.m.
Wow!
And
awesome.
On the 19th. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because then they graduate on the 22nd.
What a way to finish out your high school career. Hopefully with maybe a medal for a state champion. That would be awesome.
It would be. That would be. Well, I really appreciate your interest, and I'll call back in after that.
Yes, please do. The more of that stuff we can find out about, the more we'd like to celebrate those kids. So thank you very much, Tom, for calling in. Hopefully once your season ends, you'll get a little bit more time to come out and play some golf.
That sounds like a winner to me.
Congratulations, Coach.
There you go. There you go.
Thanks, Todd.
That was Tom Deaver. He's the head coach of the Arnold Track and Field programs out there. And you are listening to the Inside Drive live on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. You can listen from Destin all the way to Mexico Beach, including Panama City and Panama City Beach on 104.3, 101.9 along the Forgotten Coast, as well as 102.1 from Mariana all the way up to Dothan, even there in Donaldsville, Georgia. When we get back, we'll probably be talking a little bit of Kentucky Derby. We may have a caller on the line, so if you're planning on betting any horses this weekend, I can go ahead and get your sheets out and be ready. We'll be right back. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
Right, and that's fine though. I'm not asking them not to do that. I love that they do that, but I also love when pitchers throw at them for doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying for just anything petty or whatever. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I just think that's such a soft thing.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Friday weather forecast, partly to mostly sunny in the low 80s today. Light south winds. Water temperature in the Gulf is 73. Partly cloudy around 65 tonight. Partly to mostly sunny in the low 80s Saturday. There is a weather front coming in Sunday with a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm. In the low 80s, partly sunny. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Barbaritos lets you say yes to fresh. If you don't know what to eat or where to get it, well, fret no more. Barbaritos is here to help with its healthy menu, offering 7 meals with less than 500 calories. Barbaritos has lots of healthy options made with farm fresh food. Your health and your family's health matters to us. Come eat healthy at Barbaritos, 23rd Street in the Stanford Station Shopping Center near Academy Sports. Barbaritos, food, community, people.
The only place to get sports betting coverage on the radio. Is this legal? Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. Another beautiful Friday morning here in Panama City Beach. I am Ryan Mulvey, joined by Jay Henley, our Director of Instruction out there at Bay Point Golf Club. You are listening to the Inside Drive live on ESPN Northwest Florida. We are live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. You can visit them down there on 23rd Street. You can't really miss it if you're driving down 23rd Street, but it's 2251 West 23rd Street, Panama City. You can give the car dealership a call at 850-250-1403. You can call Kramer Marine and Outdoor at 850-851-0453. We found out yesterday a lot of cool stuff about Kramer with Mr. Chris Kramer here in on Kramer Day, which is his favorite thing now, which is great. They are a Yamaha outboard full-line dealer. They have Yamaha Master Certified mechanics, and they carry Seabourn, Spider Boats, and Sundance as well. And then over there at Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC, they've got tons of vehicles in stock, way more than they've had the last several years. Trade-in values are still very, very high. And one thing we found out, they sell all their tires at cost, which is an awesome opportunity. If you need some set of tires, just go visit Kramer GMC.
Look, if you went to go crank up the boat this morning and it sounded like a I would probably go and call Chris Kramer, Bill Kramer, Chevy Marine, and make that engine go Yamaha.
So you're saying don't go after any Honda sponsorships? I do believe we do have a caller on the line. Sean, are you out there?
Yeah, that's me.
How you doing, sir? What can we do for you this morning?
Good. Just I've been listening to y'all show. I do deliveries during that time period that you guys are on.
We appreciate that.
Not during all of it, and so I'm in and out of my vehicle, and so I catch bits and pieces of as much as I can of your show. So I've been listening since Monday, and
awesome. Man, great. For us, long-time listener.
That's right.
right. But anyways, and I could tell by the golf is y'all's in y'all's wheelhouse. As far as your expertise and knowledge of local golf and
local golf, playing the game of golf, all that kind of stuff.
Some days
it doesn't look like we know which side of the club to hold.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know y'all were fixing to segue into, you said the like Kentucky Derby stuff, but this probably won't take too long. Yeah. I had trouble keeping up with a local guy because I'm not that I don't really follow stuff online too much or anything, and the local newspaper pretty much is non-existent of local content anymore.
It's not a local newspaper,
unfortunately. Yeah, and so I do catch a lot of my local sports info from the 2 TV stations, but I haven't seen. I believe his name is Chase Seifert or
Seifert. Chase Seifert. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I know he played golf at Mosley and I think Florida State, and then he took a few years on the different tours trying to get his.
I actually know Chase well.
Yeah, he did get his PGA Tour card, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he was on. He had it for several years. His story is pretty awesome. Yeah, he played for Trey Jones, who's actually going to be a caller later today. The FSU men's golf coach. He the way he got onto the PGA Tour is he went over there to Sea Island for the McGladdery and ended up Monday qualifying into the tournament and then top 10 into that tournament. Well, when you Monday qualify into a tournament, which is impossible to do just in the first place. And then not only did he do that, then he top 10. When you top 10 in a tournament, that automatically gets you into the next year's tournament. And then he played well enough that year to earn his tour card or earn a card enough to get full exemption onto the, I don't know if it was the Corn Ferry. It's probably the Nationwide Tour at that time. Yeah. So then he became a full member on the Nationwide Tour. And then in that first year where he was a full member, he ended up finishing in the top 25 on the money list to earn his tour card for the following year on the PGA Tour. And he's done real well. But it's...
Is he still out there grinding it then? Is he on there? Because
He's full-time Corn Ferry Tour right now. He was on the PGA Tour for a couple years, and what was cool, the COVID year, they ended up giving everybody who got who made it to the tour that year, they got an additional year worth of exemption. But it just goes to show how difficult it is to maintain your status on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. So the card you get, it's only good for 1 year then?
Yes, unless you did well enough that year on the tour, won the money list to earn your tour card for the next year.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you calling in. Sean.
Yeah, I just have a hard time finding his, like I said, finding his results and stuff like that. And I wasn't sure if he was still out there or if he retired or what.
No, this would be great because, we want to ask Trey when we get him on the phone. I think, Chase going into Florida State was actually playing better than Brooks Koepka because they were both, at the time. And then the stories I've heard, and I want to, verify this, but, one season happened, Koepka turns a junior in college and then he just blows up into shooting 65, 66, all the time. And so Chase kind of took maybe a back seat towards the end of his college career to Koepka, but those first 2 years, Chase was just knocking it out of the park at FSU. From what I would love to talk to Trey about that for sure.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were both on the team at the same time for 2-3 years. Or
Daniel Berger as well, and I'm not sure if Jonas Blix was there at the same time, but a lot of all through kind of about that same time period. But just
that was a pretty good team then.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, Trey does a great job, and like I said, we'll be talking to him at 12:20 our time. So if you got any questions for him while we're listening, hit us on Facebook or hit that text line, and we'd be glad to ask him.
What you out there delivering, man?
I'm back at the shop, but I deliver electrical material.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say the company because I am supposed to be, somewhat working.
I got you.
Well, if you say the company, then that is like working, and then you give me their contact information. We'll talk to them about being a sponsor of the show, and then you can call in all the time.
Yeah, there you go. But it's just like I said, I tune in when I can, and I'd rather listen to you guys than what was the show you replaced. I will say that.
Well, we appreciate that, Randy. If you're listening, you heard that.
That's big praise right there.
I really like also the Dan Patrick show.
Well, that's perfect.
I listen to that too when I'm out there because then y'all segue after that, right?
Yeah. So you got the Coach James Hale show from 7 to 9. Then Dan Patrick runs from 9 to 11. Then you have us, the Inside Drive, from 11 to 1, and then it goes to Colin Cowherd from 1 to 3. A quick hour of Greeny, and then it goes into the Afternoon Underdogs from 4 to 6. Monday through Friday.
Oh, okay. So there's still 2 hours of the Colin.
Cowherd basically, we gave him a call and asked if he'd be okay switching 2 hours back, and he said, "Yeah, for you, absolutely." So we made that work, and that way we can all still be on the air and have a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all taking my call, and y'all have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, please. Feel free to give us a call whenever you like. We love to talk golf. That is definitely our wheelhouse because Jay doesn't really know a whole lot about hockey and golf, hockey, and then when we get to football, NFL, and college, we'll be ready to rock and roll. But we appreciate your call. Be safe out there driving around.
Yep. All right, y'all have a good weekend.
You too, speaking of being safe, it is Thunder Beach. It is Bike Week out there.
Yeah.
So make sure you, as David said a couple days ago, look twice and save a life.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo, there'll be a lot of folks out, probably partaking in some libations. Uber, Lyft.
Yeah,
for sure.
Be smart.
Yep,
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it was funny. We in the golf tournament this morning. We were saying Uber or Lyft should do a sponsorship to these local charity golf tournaments and just have like 20 people lined up and bring them, take them home. That would be good for our sales for sure.
It would be.
I mean, it may be a little more chaotic, but we appreciate the libation sales and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, that was a great question on Chase, and I'm hoping to have Chase on the show here in the next couple weeks and can talk a little bit about more what he's done and just how it is out there and the grind that is trying to maintain your card when you make it onto the PGA Tour. I mean, he hasn't done bad. He's been playing professional golf. He turned pro in 2013, and he's made almost $2.4 million in his career. So,
well, just 2 weeks ago, Brian Cornelius was down there following him. I guess the Corn Ferry event was down in Southwest Florida.
Yeah, it was there at the what the heck's the name of the place? Lakewood Ranch.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lakewood Ranch, and I think he finished third or second.
He did. Yeah.
And he made a beautiful putt that got a lot of attention online for sure.
Yep, he did.
Yep. But yeah, so appreciate the call and always love talking about Chase. He's a member out there at the Watersound Club and does all his playing and practicing out there. And I know he's excited, and it's tough. It's tough. It's a tough grind out there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are definitely going to pivot to some Kentucky Derby here. I think we may have a caller joining us here in just a moment. So, but until we get to that, PGA Tour update. I'll give Keith a shout out yesterday or 2 days ago. It's Friday. Whew. The all that good DraftKings expertise he gave us. If you pop those names in there, it's probably going to pay off for you. And if you're a bettor too, if you have the ability to bet, even though it's not legal here in the state of Florida, Alabama, all that good stuff. A couple of his guys that he picked, one guy he picked to win, Chris Kirk, is 100-1. He's currently -6, tied for the lead. He also had him at 18-1 to top 5. So hopefully he can hang on, make the cut, and shoot some good rounds. And then Clark is also one of the guys he picked. So a lot of good stuff out there from Keith. You can listen to him every Wednesday. It'll be from, I want to say 11:40 to about 12:20. I think about 12 o'clock to 12:40. He'll be calling in, giving us all that daily fantasy sports and betting update and all that stuff. And then our lock of the week that we talked about yesterday when Alan called in, he gave us Golden State -6.5. Well, guess what happened last night?
Yeah.
I think the final score was 120 to 100, 127 to 100.
Do you remember the song "Purple Rain" by Prince?
Yes.
Yeah, those are tears from Lakers fans yesterday, last night. That was that was so brutal.
Well, it's just some of those times when that team wins that first game and they kind of steal the first one that maybe they shouldn't have. They feel like they won a game and then sometimes that second game's a little bit of a letdown. And yeah, the difference last night was Anthony Davis. He was non-existent.
The referees, I mean, they were all over LeBron last night.
Yep.
I mean, and I'm still a little, going back in the day when you learned about fundamentals and dribbling the golf ball. Yeah, dribbling the basketball.
You can dribble a golf ball too.
You can too. Yeah.
That'd be good practice for how to dribble a basketball.
But I remember being taught, not to carry the ball. If your palm is reaching to the sky.
If it faces up, that's a carry.
But all these guys today, man, they are holding that thing in their palm
It's
forever.
a show. It's entertainment.
I don't like it, Ryan.
Well, the youth leagues that Ryan plays in, I mean, if that palm goes up to the sky, they call that carry every time.
Yeah. They should do it in the NBA.
They should. It would certainly change the game. You'd get a lot of carry calls. The games would take 4 hours because there'd be so many turnovers on carries. But it should be a great series. I mean, Steph Curry obviously is cementing himself as to arguably the greatest shooter in NBA history, where LeBron is obviously the top scorer in NBA history. So just a fun NBA playoff matchup to watch. The Warriors have not done well on the road this year. And we'll see what they do going back to, it's not that far. They're just driving, it's about 4 or 5 hours down the coast, down there to LA. But we'll see how they do in the Staples Arena and how they can hold up. But pivoting to that Kentucky Derby, we had Steve Wiley call us earlier this week and was talking about some of the ones. But it's running tomorrow. Hard to believe. Today's May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Go out there and if I had some restaurant sponsors that were doing some margarita stuff, give us a call. We want to sponsor you. We want to talk about all the stuff you're doing.
Yes.
I was talking to a couple this morning at the golf tournament, so we may have some new sponsors coming here pretty soon. But your odds-on favorite still to win the Kentucky Derby is Forte at 3-1. And then you've got, who's next? You've got Tappet Trice is moved to 5-1. And like Steve was saying, you've got a pretty big chunk of horses all between that 10-1, 15-1, which can be good or bad depending on how you want to bet the Derby. And I believe you can go up there to our former local track, Ebro, where they got their big poker room, but also I believe you can do horse betting from there as well.
I think you brought over, I mean, Steve did a great job the other day, but you brought in the forecast for, tomorrow evening for the Kentucky Derby. That's such a huge, that's like golf, right? There's so many variables and stuff. Are we still, Are we still looking at a 60% chance of rain for that Derby?
Let's find out.
Because, Verifying was one that Steve Wiley was very, very adamant about, throwing maybe a bet or two on. Tappet Price, I think is it 5-1 Tappet Price?
Yeah, 5-1 on Tappet Price.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I think we talked about number one position hasn't won the Kentucky Derby since 1964. I mean, it's like it's a year of first, right?
Yeah.
It would be cool to kind of see that.
I feel like there's been a lot of sports firsts in the last couple of years, which is exciting if you're a sports fan.
It is.
Yeah, it's still saying there's about a 60% chance of rain, but there may be a chance now it kind of stays southwest and doesn't actually go through. But, that whole topic about the artificial tracks, which I didn't even know there was artificial tracks in horse racing, but apparently there is very similar to when it becomes muddy. So that just tells me that an artificial track is probably a little bit slow.
Right.
But the favorite, was it Tappet Trice that was the one that runs well on the artificial turf?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Tappet Trice, yep.
And then Verified is your pick, right?
Verifying is what I'm going with. He's in the number 2 pole position.
Which is definitely a tough pole position. Some of the guys right in the middle of the guys, they're all girls, I think. They're all female horses. But the 5 to 12 positions, the top odds ones, Tappet Trice is in the 5 spot at 5-1. And then you've got King's Barn, who's 12-1 in the number 6 pole position. You've got Mage, it's 15-1 in the 8 position. Practical Move might be another good pick. He's right at the 10. She's right at the 10 spot at 10-1.
Yeah.
So it's all about that, getting off to that good start. But you don't want to get tired too early. It's a long race, and it's what do they call it? The most exciting 2 minutes in sports.
It is. Yeah. I mean, Steve mentioned that the Verifying number 2 is quick out of the gates. If he can get
out ahead of all the other horses.
Yeah. Man, I can't wait. Gosh.
5:37 is the poll time tomorrow.
Yep.
Kentucky Derby right there on CBS.
Is that Eastern?
No, that's our time.
That's our time.
That's our time, because I remember growing up, it was always about 6:20, 6:30 in the East Coast time.
Yep.
So now the hour earlier is even better. That way, if you have too many mint juleps, you got plenty of time to rest before Sunday.
I was disappointed, though. Steve said something about, the Kentucky Derby ticket, like just stay at home or whatever.
Yeah. But unless you get invited to one of those millionaire boxes, then you'll be fine.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
But yeah. So we got another break coming up. It is Ryan Mulvey joined by Jay Henley every day, Monday through Friday, here on the Inside Drive from 11 to 1. We're sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC in Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. You can listen locally on 104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 the Forgotten Coast, as well as 102.1 in Mariana, all the way up to Dothan, and even there in Donaldsville. So give us a shout on Facebook. Give us a call, 850-215-6290. And, of course, you can hit our text line. Same phone number, 850-215-6290. We'll answer your questions to the best of our ability. We even had a caller say that they prefer our show better than the original slot.
Yeah.
When we get back, I think we've got some different callers to talk some different things. We maybe even have Jeff Patton from Bozeman Baseball talking about their district championship last night. You are listening to the Inside Drive live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The tradition continues.
That ball is going to be out of here. The Atlanta Braves play here.
Bombs away. The Atlanta Braves are back and making a statement.
Head first slide, 2 RBI triple.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball in a rich audio experience live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here comes the thunder.
Sponsored by Bestway Portable Buildings, Dave and Buster's, PCB Hobby, and Gulf Coast Aquarium.
By now, you've heard us talking about Tiger TV Pro. Hi, David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs, here to remind you about this incredible streaming service with over 6,000 premium channels. And the cost, you ask? $15 a month. Yes, only $15 a month. Every sports channel is available, including the ACC and SEC Network, the NFL, NBA, MLB, HBO, Showtime, and thousands more. For more info, go to our website at espnpc.com. Scroll down and click the Tiger logo.
At Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, you can find all the necessary items for an unforgettable fishing experience. From pin rods and reels to the best hand-tied rigs in Florida, we have it all. With the help of our friendly and knowledgeable staff, you can be sure that you have the right gear to make that big catch. Come experience a great local bait and tackle shop located directly off 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach, located just 5 miles west of Pier Park.
ESPN Northwest Florida advertisers get results. Here's MaxFit Sports Nutrition owner Jason Kovaleski.
So if you're looking to advertise, or if you have a small business and you're looking to drive traffic to your store, check out ESPN 104.3 with Coach James Hale Show. I've been working with them for 7 years. They've driven a lot of traffic to my business. It's one thing to advertise on the radio where people may hear it. It's another thing to be able to come on, talk to your customers directly.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
The locals love it.
You're going to love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Inside Drive live on ESPN Florida. If you're driving around there, listen to us on 104.3, 101.9, or 102.1. Please be careful. It is Bike Week down here in Panama City Beach, so look twice, save a life. Everybody's, you got plenty of time to get where you need to go. Just be patient, be smart, and do what you need to do. There's nothing's that big of a rush.
Tempo,
just like golf.
That's right.
Nice and smooth. Hit that club face square. That's for sure. You don't want to hit anybody out there where you're driving around too square. Right. But you're listening to the Inside Drive. I'm Ryan Mulvey, always joined by Jay Henley, our Director of Instruction out there at Bay Point Golf Club. We're live inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. We also have a new sponsor. Excited to get South Oak Title and Closing on our show in addition to the Coach James Hale Show. They have 20 locations across the country, including 4 across the Panhandle of Florida. You got one in Panama City Beach, 30A, Destin, and up there 77 in Lynn Haven. Visit them for all your real estate closing needs. They are the best of the best. I know personally from all my experiences with hearing Beth deal with these closings. Right. They do a fantastic job. We do have another caller on the line. Lynn Haven Rob, how you doing today?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, man, what's going on? I want to congratulate you on your show.
We appreciate that.
I'm
glad you're
listening.
listening.
Call and take up all the time like Eddie did yesterday, but it was a good show yesterday.
Yeah, but everybody knows that.
A lot about inside. And I did want to say something about most of the horses that are running tomorrow in the Kentucky Derby are all male.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Secretariat, that's why when they win, they put them out for studying. They make lots more money.
What a tough life.
That end of it.
Tough life for that horse.
And they're just... But I think there's a filly race either today or early tomorrow morning.
Well, you got the Kentucky Oaks is going on as well.
Yeah. I think that's what it was when whoever was talking about it yesterday or the day before was that they had the fillies and the Kentucky Oaks is today. But yeah,
I know Steve Wiley's listening. He'd be disappointed that I said that they were all female horses running in the Kentucky Derby, but I was wrong. That's part of this.
That's all right, and with the golf lessons and everything else y'all were talking about, and when Chris was yesterday telling about going out there, and if you play with somebody, if you're just a regular hacker, and then you go and play with someone that really is scratch or better golfer, it amazes you what they can do with a golf ball, and stuff. Because growing up in Tallahassee, I used to pick up shag balls and stuff at FSU golf course years ago.
Wow!
When it was after Hubert Green left, when I was probably in 1972 or so.
Okay.
When a bunch of those guys were there, my godfather was Verlin Giles. He was the golf coach of the men's and women's golf over there in Verlin, and then when they won the national championship and all. But yeah, it was great. You know, back when the old if you go down there, the old work shed was right there on the highway. That's where the clubhouse was originally when Hubert Green and all them played, and they cut down a big old, probably 100-year-old oak tree that at that time was on number 3.
Okay.
And they cut it down because they couldn't drive to the green from where they wanted to, so they went and cut that tree down one night.
Wow.
That's the FSU golf course.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
But anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, y'all guys just have a good time. The show's great. And don't let Coach L tell you any different.
He's been very supportive so far, which has been awesome. We try to stay away from Alabama as much as we possibly can. I dealt with that enough in the morning.
Oh, yeah, exactly. All right, guys, y'all have a great day.
Yeah, we appreciate your call and your support, and hope to hear from you again.
Well, I like listening to y'all. I do like this programming better than what was on prior to in this time slot anyway.
There you go.
So,
right. There you go.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Rob.
Have a good one.
Have a great weekend. Yes, you too.
You too.
Enjoy the Derby.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right. I mean, it's if you get out and play with better players, and you become a better golfer. And Lynn Haven Rob's, dead on. So
well, and it's like any sport. If you it's just like when you surround yourself with people.
Yeah.
You are who you surround yourself with people. And if you're wanting to get better at golf, football, baseball, soccer, whatever it may be, if you're the best person that you're always playing with, you're never going to get any better.
That's right.
That's just the way our brains work. You get pushed by people being better than competition. Just breeds success. That's for sure. So, but and you can make them get better out there. Tell people how to reach out and find out about golf lessons.
Yeah, so you can reach me at www.golfwithj.com or give me a call at 770-584-3506. And you can also go to baypointgolfclub.com, click on the instructional tab there, and I'm on the very top. So look forward to hearing from you.
Awesome. And I believe we do have another caller on the line now. Alan, are you out there?
Hello?
Hey, Alan, how are you doing?
Alan.
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing fantastic. Good. Hey, Alan he was sweating it last night, but he hit a couple big with your Braves. I think what is that, the 9th inning they scored those 2 runs, Alan?
Yeah, I had the Braves team side over 4.5 runs, and then I had the total of the game over 8.5. It was 4-3 Braves in like the 5th inning, and the Marlins had a runner on 2nd and 3rd. And I was like, cool. Worst case scenario, there's no outs. I'm going to get a tie game. I'm at least going to get the over 8.5. Somehow these dudes didn't score, and it went all the way to the very last inning. And I'm not going to lie, I just was like, I need to step away. But Matt Olson came through, and then, again, the bottom of the lineup just continues to produce for us. So all's well that ends well.
Yeah, man. It looks like they're back at home against the Orioles this evening. Is that correct?
Which you can listen to right here on ESPN Northwest Florida, home of the Atlanta Braves.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I'm only a couple hours from Camden Yards anyway. So it's a big deal. Like, most of my friends are Orioles fans. So it's like we don't get to talk trash often because the Orioles are really bad. But I'm looking forward to it. The Orioles, their starting pitching will always make it exciting. I think it's a bad matchup for them because they haven't got much out of starters. And then today they got to face arguably our best pitcher, depending on how you want to look at it. So it's going to be a good series, hopefully.
Yeah, looking at the standings, I mean, I know we have a lot of Tampa Bay Rays in our listening area, so it looks like Baltimore is going to potentially give them a little run for their money there going into the All-Star break. So.
Yeah, I took the Rays preseason 3-1 on Fantasy Six Pack. I did a American League preseason site, and I had the Rays winning the division. And I think a lot of people thought I was crazy when I said it so confidently, but they've been one of the most well-run organizations from a bang for your buck standpoint. Okay. They don't spend a lot of money, but they get a lot of production out of their team, and they have a knack for getting rid of guys right before they decline. They did it to Evan Longoria. They did it to Prince Fielder, David Price. They just it's an organization that just seems like they kind of have an idea on how to build a team. I just wish they would finish,
Yeah, they started out strong, like winning the first 10 or 11. That was, man, it's phenomenal.
Killing.
Well, let's pivot. As we were talking before, one of your degenerate gambling expertise areas is horse racing and the Kentucky Derby. Oh, real quick, got to give you the shout out. We talked about it earlier in the show. I don't know if you were listening about your lock of the day yesterday when you called the Warriors and give up the 6.5 points. And man, you were right.
Yep.
I had a parlay with them in there, but the Seattle Kraken didn't come through for me last night. The Toronto Maple Leafs did, or not? The Florida Panthers did. They took a 2-0 series lead, which is pretty shocking. Yeah. But I always try to throw in an underdog or two just to get that payout a little higher. But the Kraken didn't come through, but boy did the Warriors. So Congratulations on your lock of the day there, Alan. We appreciate it very much.
Thanks, man.
So what's your thoughts, on this Kentucky Derby coming up tomorrow? We talked a little bit earlier. You've got, I think it's 9-2 now. Forte is down 2. And you got Angel Empire at 5-1, Tapit Trice at 5-1, 2 Phils at 8-1. You had 2 horses scratch, Lord Myers and Continuer, one of the Japanese horses that Steve was talking about earlier this week. What are you thinking for tomorrow?
I'm thinking that I should give a disclaimer like all the other guys are doing and let people know that a 20-horse race is total chaos sometimes. I'll never forget, it was like 2 years ago, I had Rock Your World, super fast horse, and the gate opened, and he got bumped really hard, and that was the end of my day.
That was, he was done.
In 2 seconds. So for me, I'm thinking that I watched all the horses, all 20 horses, even the extras that are coming in. That's not surprising. And I don't see a ton of pace from the horses in this field. So I feel like we're going to get a more compact position going around the track. Usually, last year was insane pace. And it created a lot of lanes where Rich Strike, a late closer, could come through and finish. Which isn't often. We don't really get to see a lot of pace that high in the Derby. So I'm thinking this year will be more along the same lines. So I actually like Angel of Empire. It's unfortunate that it's down 5-1. I got it at 8-1 on the site.
Nice.
But I like Angel of Empire, and for the main reason that I feel like Angel of Empire closes the best, and I feel like that's going to be a big deal in this race. Forte is clearly the best horse on paper, well deserving of the favorite title. But I feel like watching the Arkansas Derby, Angel of Empire have a lot left in the tank and just never really needed it. Just kind of had an easy ride. And I like the idea of this horse winning it for me.
All right. Now, if you had to, let's call it I think I'm kind of familiar with the terms, an exacta box. That's where, or a trifecta box is where you take the winning horse, and then it can be 2 others in any order, and then is a wheel where you can do lots of different horse combinations. Obviously, the payout's not as good.
Yeah.
So taking your 5-1 where you got Angel of Empire, who, if you had to do a trifecta, and let's call it a wheel, who else you throwing in there?
So if I was doing,
this is such a selfish question.
No, that's cool. If I was doing when I do exacta boxes, I do 2, and then I throw in a long shot just in case.
Yeah.
You don't want to get too crazy at the Derby. I mean, these are the top level horses for a reason. So I would do Forte, Angel Empire, and then Mage would be my exacta box. So any combination of those 2 finishing first and second. If I was doing a trifecta, I think Forte and Angel of Empire have to be at your top if you're liking them. The Japanese horse Dorma Sotogake, I do have as one of my top horses as well, just in case. And the irony of that is Forte, Angel of Empire, and Dorma Sotogake are right next to each other. And I think that's going to be a big deal. Whoever gets out of that 3-man pack first, I think will have the edge to finish the race. Coming in for the second portion of the trifecta, Forte, Angel again, because I think they'll finish 1 or 2. Mage, who I'm higher on to not only start the pace out, but also get run down towards the end. Mandarin had a really strong showing at the Arkansas Derby, and I think she'll keep it going, or he'll keep it going. And then Kingsbarn. Kingsbarn was my favorite horse, but ironically, his jockey chose Angel, and so that made me switch to Angel. Because if the jockey's got two horses to choose from in the Derby, and he picks the latter, I feel like that's a sign.
There's usually a reason for that, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. And then to round out your trifecta, don't be afraid to take some closers. I think closers are a big deal in rounding out trifectas. Skinner, I had as my best closer. Opening, he was 20-1. But Sun Thunder is my long shot at 50-1. So Sun Thunder will be at the end of my trifecta. He's also coming in with blinkers on for the first time. I think that's a big deal. He's a horse that I watch that never stopped running, which is huge, especially if we have a real jumbled field and horses get to knocking each other and stuff like that. There will be an opportunity for a late run. And then Reincarnate at 50-1, just, hoping that he hits the board rounding out to just give me a little bit more oomph. And then your co-host talked about Verified. I did catch a little bit of that. I don't have Verified winning, but I think he's a pace setter, an early pace setter coming out that 2 spot. And I think worst case scenario, he finishes third, just too much run behind him to really finish. But I think he might hit the board.
Hey, Alan, we got our top of the hour hard break coming up. We appreciate your expertise when it comes to the horse betting, and I was writing down all my notes. And maybe we'll talk Monday if you got some time and recap this Kentucky Derby. I don't know about you, Jay, but I'm fired up now to watch this horse race. Yes, I'm always excited about the Derby, but to have a little bit of actual knowledge seems to go a long way. So, Alan, we appreciate you calling in and sharing your degenerate gambling expertise with us.
No problem, man. You guys take care.
You too. When we get back, we'll be talking a little bit more about some local. We may have a football coach calling in from up in your neck of the woods. You are listening here live on ESPN Northwest Florida. We will be right back.
Friday weather forecast, partly to mostly sunny in the low 80s today. Light south winds. Water temperature in the Gulf is 73. Partly cloudy around 65 tonight. Partly to mostly sunny in the low 80s Saturday. There is a weather front coming in Sunday with a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm. In the low 80s, partly sunny. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The tradition continues.
That ball's going to be out of here.
America's team plays here.
Bombs away.
The Atlanta Braves are back and making a statement.
Ronald Acuna just clobbered one to left.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball in a rich audio experience live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here comes the thunder.
Sponsored by Gilbert Kia, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, Stormore Potable Buildings, and Brock Pest Control.
The new Smokin' Triple Stack at Firehouse Subs is stacked high with honey ham, smoked jerky, and slow-smoked beef brisket. To top it off, a portion of every purchase helps provide life-saving equipment to first responders. The Smokin' Triple Stack Sub. Get it for a limited time, only at Firehouse Subs. Participating U.S. locations, Firehouse of America, LLC, and Firehouse Subs suppliers together will donate 0.09% of purchases in 2023 at Firehouse Subs locations to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation for the purchase of life-saving equipment with a minimum donation of $1 million.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, WVLQ Port St. John, Paula Hesse, ESPN Northwest Florida. Coming in hot.
So hot.
It'll be a hot one. Really hot. God damn.
The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. It is the top of the hour, switching to the afternoon here in the Central Time Zone. You are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 along the Forgotten Coast, as well as 102.1 up in Marianna, all the way to Dothan, even a little bit of Southwest Georgia, Jay, just for you.
Yes, sir.
We are inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Chris Kramer was in the studio with us yesterday. Just an awesome show, a lot of fun. Really enjoyed talking to him. Some of the fun stuff with some of the history. But go visit them. You see the huge Kramer sign when you're driving down 23rd Street. But if you're not from here and you want to come down and buy a vehicle or get your boat worked on and get ready to take it out to the water, you can visit them at 2251 West 23rd Street in Panama City. You can also give the car dealership a call at 850-250-1403, or you can call Kramer Marine and Outdoor at 850-851-0453. They have tons of new vehicles in stock, much more than they've had the last several years. Trade-in values are still awesome, so if you're looking to get a new vehicle, trade it in. You won't even have to change your payment, or maybe you just swap it out for a brand new car. And then if you need some new tires, you don't even need service or want to buy a new vehicle, you can go over and visit them and get some tires at cost. And then, of course, over there at Kramer Marine and Outdoor, you've got the Yamaha Outboard full-line dealer, as well as Yamaha Master Certified Mechanics on board. They're selling Seabourn, Spider boats, as well as Sundance boats. Jay, I think we got somebody on the line that you know.
Oh, Coach Landing. Coach Landing.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
It's a busy day, but hey, they do give me a few minutes for lunch.
There you go.
So you might as well give us a call.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you on the show, sir. I was talking with Randy here, and we were talking about just kind of the listening area yesterday. And, the listening area extends a little bit northeast more than it does west for whatever reason. And you're on my thoughts yesterday. 102.1 Marianna is reaching you guys over there, I'm pretty sure. So welcome to Northwest Florida, ESPN.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. People always ask where we're at, and I said, well, we're 15 minutes from Florida, and we're 15 minutes from Alabama, so we're pretty close to both.
There you go. Well, hey, I got you on the line here. Big shout out to your two boys, Garrett and Nathan Landing. I know they attend high school there at Seminole County. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about them? I know they're football players, but go ahead and
Is this
talk
who you posted the other day?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually football players, but they also play golf. It's a weird combination, but I've always taught them that, one day, doesn't matter what sport you play, eventually it will end. You better learn to pick up something, golf or tennis or something that you can do when you get older. And they've really done well in golf. This is Garrett's third trip to the state tournament here in Georgia, and this will be Nathan's second trip. But they came in number 2 and number 3 in our area, and which covers the southern portion of Georgia from 15 minutes from Alabama and Florida, all the way over to Charleston County, which is about 15 minutes from Florida from Jacksonville. So it's a long area that covers that they have the teams that commit to playing.
So they've moved on. Golf is fall here in the Panhandle. It's spring, obviously, in Georgia. They've moved on to Belmead Country Club in Thompson, Georgia, which is just outside of Augusta. That's where the state championship's going to be. Is that correct, Coach?
I've played Belmead.
Yes, sir. Oh. Yeah, the 1A Division II state championship will be there at Belmead. Don't know a lot about it yet until they get up and play some practice rounds in a couple of weeks. But it looks like a pretty good track, and there's some trees, some water, and it looks like it's going to be a little thinking test to play around the course. But again, that's every team that's coming will have to decipher that and try to do the best with what in the tournament.
That's great, Coach. Hey, to all of our listeners out there, can you describe to me your two sons, describe to them their height, their weight, their grade? I mean, man, I look like I'm 3 foot tall when I'm next to him. So anyway.
Yes, Garrett actually will be a senior next year, and he's 6'4", 290, and then the baby, which is I have 4 boys. These are the last 2. and the baby's about 6'3", about 250, 260, and he's going to actually grow past the other one there. And my oldest one is 6'4", 6'8". So they're still growing, but they're big.
They're still growing, huh, Coach?
They don't cut their hair and they don't shave, and I kind of had to succumb to that. They don't get any trouble, but they make they're National Honor Society kids, and so in school they do. And I can't guarantee they're going to have hair when they get older, so I just have to that's their expression at the moment. I just have to let them have it.
Yes, sir. Well, I know.
If you saw them on the street, you might think they were homeless, but they're not.
I got you. Well, so describe to our listeners out there, I know you've had the fortunate opportunity to be their football coach. To tell everybody out there a little bit about you and, what you do for Seminole County.
Well, I have been blessed. As I've been 30-something years, I've been coaching football. I spent from 1992 to 2004 in Florida, in South Florida, in a little town called Belle Glade, Florida, where I grew up, and on the southern tip of Lake Okeechobee, and coached football there. I was blessed to coach a lot of good football players down there, some guys that many of them went on to the NFL. One of my favorite guys I like to talk about is Santonio Holmes, who was, of course, the MVP of the Super Bowl when Pittsburgh won, and everybody was excited about that catch he made. It's on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and I think about all the days that Santonio would go after practice. Curtis Holly was the quarterback, and they would throw balls, and Santonio would work, throw to the corner, and get his toes in the ground, throw to the sideline. I said he prepared himself for that moment long before that moment ever occurred. So he was a really good player. He was a good kid. And then I moved to Georgia, and I've been at Thomasville High School, Thomas County, and then before I over here at Seminole. And again, I'm blessed to coach a lot of good football players there. One of my guys that did really well, went on to play for the Cincinnati Bengals, played at Clemson, was Brandon Thompson, defensive tackle. So over the years, I think 230 kids that I've coached have gone on to college, and 6 went to the NFL. So when you got good players, and usually things work out good for you as a coach. It's when you don't have any good players that you got to struggle.
Yeah, so super cool, Coach, is that the boys win the 1A championship on Wednesday. They got an 8 a.m. tee time. Then they tell me that they're going for spring practice at 3:30 that afternoon. Is that right?
Yeah, they were on the field. They came running with their cleats and ready to go, and that's just they enjoy playing sports and they wanted to be out there. And spring practice is an important time because, in Florida and Georgia, not every state has spring practice anymore. And for evaluating purposes of colleges are at a point now that they're not in a dead period and they can travel around and visit. So, if they can come to your practice and evaluate the kids that they're recruiting, it's a very, very important evaluation tool. We've had numerous colleges coming through, and they will continue to come through. Not only here, but the places in Georgia and Florida that are having practice. So it's a crucial time for kids.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It sounds like it, Coach. So what does the schedule look like for you guys coming up in the fall? Do you guys play any Panhandle high schools at all?
We're going to go. We crisscrossed Florida and Georgia this year. We played, in Alabama. We're not playing anybody from Alabama this year, but we are going down to Wakulla to play Crawfordville. And that's a very, very good program. And this will be before you were born, but I can date back to 1982 when they played Clewiston High School for the state championship there at Wakulla. And I of course, lived in Belleville, which is 10 minutes. And we were actually playing in the Panhandle against Baker High School for the state championship. And my other buddies that were at that school were playing Wakulla for the state championship. So it's an interesting place. A lot of good football in that Panhandle, and many years that I've playing from South Florida and playing those teams. A lot of good football teams.
Well, that's great, Coach. And I know I've known you for a few years now, and I'm blessed to know you. And I know Seminole County is blessed to have you as a football coach. When I'm around you, it's kind of funny. It's almost like you may run and jump, but you don't play kind of deal. You kind of remind me a little bit of Bud Kilmer from Varsity Blues, a little bit, Coach. I'm not going to lie.
That's okay.
It's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yep. I'd want to play hard for you. I can tell you that.
and I've been very blessed. Like I said, to have some really good and good relationships. You know, I may get a call from at any time. A kid from like 1995 will call, "Hey, Coach, how you doing? I was just telling you about my family. You know, I just remembered everything we did, and I appreciate it." Or it might be 1996 or 2000 or 2000. I mean, so it's nice to hear that you had a small impact on some of the kids that you coach. Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing for me. Because I had a coach that, you know, taught me how to be a young man, how to battle adversity, and then in life, you know, things that we all know as you grow. You're going to have to battle adversities in life, and those that succumb to them, you know, it doesn't work out sometimes. Right. And but if you learn that life is not easy, it's great. I love it, but you know, there's times that you've got to really buckle down and deal with some situations. And I learned that at a young age, and that's one of the things I try to teach to young kids.
Well, and that's such a big thing too with coaching is, you know, you don't realize when you're coaching kids, even on any level, that may be the one time of their day where they're getting away from bad situations or whatever it may be, and the impact that a coach can have on someone's life. You just mentioned it, people calling you, you know, 30 years later talking about their families, and the impact, if, you know, anybody out there coaching, it's so much more, you know, than winning and losing. It's the impact you have on those young men and women's lives and help them be successful in the future. I'm going to pivot and ask you a crossover question. So obviously, you know, a lot of people, a lot of big-time college athletes, high school athletes that go on to the next level and even go into the pros, they play multiple sports. How do you think the crossover with football and golf, that's a unique one for sure. You don't hear it as much. You see football and basketball or football and baseball or whatever it may be. Do you think that it's had a benefit for your boys both on the golf course as well as on the football field?
Well, obviously, on the golf course, generating the power that they generate. The other day, one of the coaches said, "Hey," asked one of the boys. He said, "I don't know what you're doing to that ball. It didn't do nothing to you. Why'd you have to hit it so hard?" And
they say that about Jay too.
Yeah, and the thing is that really golf is about at the end of the day, and Jay, of course, will attest to this. You know, the upper body is just kind of holding things online, but you're generating power through your hips, and your explosion comes from your lower body. Well, in football, your hands are basically guiding, but all your power is generated from your lower body. And so I think you know the lower body work and the core work that you do benefits both sports. And I've looked at a lot of different, you know, the professional athletes that play on the tour and their workout programs. You know, they spend a lot of time, you know, on their core and their lower body because they're teaching themselves upper body. The alignment, the takeaway, and all those things, the setting of the club and all that. And, of course, they have to repeat it over and over. But they're going to generate when it comes down. I think of, Justin Thomas knows when that foot comes off the ground, when he wants to generate when that foot comes off the ground because his hips are coming. And so it's definitely, believe it or not, you have a little correlation there that helps both sports.
No, that's a great point. In golf, your one contact point is the ground. Just like any sport, your contact point is the ground. And a lot of people don't realize, especially on the amateur side of things, all your power is generated from the ground up. It's your only leverage point. It's the only place where you can actually push off of something and make power. And same thing with football. I mean, when you're making cuts or if you're on the line and you're pushing, your leverage comes from that ground. And you didn't really think about it too much until you said that. But, yeah, that's such a great correlation between the power of both sports and how it needs to be generated. And I love what you said about the upper body and the hands and the shoulders. That's all just positional stuff, but your power comes from your lower body and those legs. And I think a lot of people get away from that in golf, and that's why you see them struggle so much.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that part is the hardest part.
No doubt. There ain't no doubt about that. There's nothing easy about it.
And it's no different in football if you're, when we go over your hand placements. If your hands are placed wrong on your opponents and the other opponents, the hands are placed right, then when they generate their power, they're going to win, And I was blessed to play golf all my life. I was very fortunate. I learned down in South Florida, and I had some really, really good competition in high school because my rival high school, as a freshman, I stepped out and played Jack Nicklaus Jr. It didn't end well for me. But, but then, and having Jack Nicklaus sitting there at your at your golf match in high school, was very unique, and he was such a kind person. He would talk to us, and he was just. I think I shared one time with Jay. I was down at Doral, and I was at the tee, and he walks up to tee off. Because we played all those kids in football, basketball, baseball, golf,
And he looks up. I was standing by the tee, and, I'm not going to say anything. I'm a teenager. And he goes, "Hey, why aren't you in school?" I'm like, "Well, they let me come watch a little golf today." He's like, "Well, that's a good thing." Jack Nicklaus acknowledged you. And just from knowing you and seeing you compete with his kids. And, that's just the kind of person he is.
Yeah.
That is the epitome of a guy who's, one of the greatest or the greatest, and can just take a moment. He didn't have to say anything to me. He's teeing up the ball, get the ball in a tournament.
Right.
So he was kind enough just to look over there and say, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I thought that was pretty cool.
That's great, Coach. I tell you, man. We may run out of time, today, but I know you're a big Canes fan, so I hope that you can maybe give us a little Canes update throughout the summer, and definitely want to hear about your Seminole County football for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you're in our listening area. You're local. You're part of the ESPN Northwest Florida family, and definitely look forward to hearing from you on updates as we move through the summer.
Well, again, I appreciate your time, and I definitely anything that I got. Unfortunately, a lot of sports stories, that were crossing a path that are actually interesting. That I look back, and it was just I've been blessed. I'm a very fortunate person. Just work hard, but I've just met some good people, and I've had good people in my life, and I've just been very fortunate.
Well, it's what you do. I tell you, I mean, I was a lost soul in 2018. Hurricane Michael come through, living with Mom and Dad, going through some personal things, and you were there, and you believed in me, and you've brought these kids up the way they should be, and so you're blessed for a reason. So,
yes, sir.
Yep. Thank you so much, Coach.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, and like I said, anytime you want to talk sports, that's one thing at our house. We can go hockey. But I'll leave you with this. One of the best things I watch, along with all the other sports we watch at the house, is the girls softball. And I'm going to tell you what, I'll give Florida State girls softball team a little shout out, because I watched the Florida State game the other night, and oh my, what a game! Until the freshman left-hander from Florida State came in, and she put on a mow you down performance at a 7-6. It was a one run game.
It was an awesome game.
Wow. I mean, when she came in after about the third pitch, I said, before we even got to the last thing, I'll go, "It's over." The boy's like, "How do you know it's over?" I'm like, "They're not going to hit her. She is. You can see it in her eyes." I mean, and she did throw flames. I was impressed. I used to coach girls softball, so I was impressed. I said, "Man, they're number 3 for a reason." Definitely.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
Thank you, Coach, very much for joining us today. And like Jay said, I'm sure we'll talk to you very soon. And good luck to your boys at the state finals. And I've played that Belle Meade course a few times. Tee shots are a premium out there for sure. So let the boys rip it, but let them rip it straight. Thank you for talking to us, Coach. Have a great rest of your day.
Have a good afternoon.
Have a good weekend.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, speaking of that, Florida State softball, I mean, number 3 in the country with that big victory. I didn't want to talk too much about it yesterday with Chris Kramer being in here, being the big Florida guy he is. But the Florida men's golf team actually won the SEC championship this year, so they got an automatic bid into the regionals. And I know when we come back for our break, we're very excited to be joined by Trey Jones. He's the director of golf for Florida State University, as well as the men's head golf coach. He's been there for about 20 years, a good friend of the program, and we look forward to talking to him about his Knowles team this year and their upcoming NCAA regionals, and just any other questions that Jay may have for him out there, as he has a wealth of knowledge and also has had some pretty big-time professional golfers come through. So we're looking forward to having him here in just a minute, so make sure you stay tuned. Don't forget, you can we'll be on the line with Coach Jones, but you can always text us at 850-215-6290. You are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back with Coach Jones.
Only 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida could bring sports fans like you an app this powerful. The sports content you crave is always on. Live stream us everywhere you go. Now with upgraded programming and live game schedules, you'll always know when the Atlanta Braves and your favorite games are playing. Plus, interact with our local hosts in real time and so much more. The new app for the sports fanatic is available at the Apple Store and Google Play. From 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Friday afternoon weather forecast, partly to mostly sunny in the low 80s, light south winds. Water temperature in the Gulf is 83. Partly cloudy overnight in the mid 60s with light winds. Saturday is going to be partly to mostly sunny in the low 80s. Showers and thunderstorms expected Sunday into Monday. We'll keep you updated. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Living on the Gulf Coast, we have beautiful beaches, clear water, and amazing marine life. Want to bring a piece of the ocean into your home or office with an amazing aquarium? Gulf Coast Aquarium, the area's only certified platinum CCHEM dealer. Their staff are all certified CCHEM specialists. Gulf Coast Aquarium can install, design, maintain, and finance your own piece of the Gulf. Gulf Coast Aquarium, powered by CCHEM, with over 40 years as a U.S.-based manufacturer of quality aquarium products. Online at GulfCoastAquarium.com. Gulf Coast Aquarium, where it's more than just a tank. You know the break room for the best pool tables in Bay County. But did you know they now serve delicious food? Check out the break room's daily lunch and dinner specials like spaghetti and meatballs, meatloaf with mashed potatoes, air-fried chicken, and more. Plus the best burgers, hot dogs, and you gotta try the Sammy of the day. The break room on Panama City Beach at the corner of Joan Avenue and North Lagoon. For more information, check them out on Facebook.
Chef Ross here. We're open daily at 11 at the break room.
And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're going to have a talk. Tell me what you know. You're out!
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. David bringing us in with some Lincoln Park, taking me back to my day of playing a lot of ice hockey. We used to listen to this all the time. Watch out for that mic, Jay. It'll jump up and bite you. But you are listening to The Inside Drive. I'm Ryan Mulvey, joined by Jay Henley. You are listening to ESPN Northwest Florida inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC, Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Also, don't forget about South Oak Title and Closing, 20 great locations across the country, including 4 right here across the Florida Panhandle for all your real estate needs. We'll be joined by Coach Jones just here in a moment. Real quick, before we jump on the line with him, just some of his accolades. He's been over there at FSU for, I want to say, right about 20 years, and he is just one of 15 NCAA Division I men's coaches to reach the career 30 win mark. Wow. Winning a college golf tournament as a team is no easy task. It's not like football. It's not like baseball. It's not like any of those other sports that are very, very difficult to win at. So I believe he's on the line now. Hey, Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
I'll do it fantastic. I appreciate you joining us. I know you have a very busy schedule going on, but it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And I don't know if you've ever met Jay. He's our teaching golf professional out there at Bay Point Golf Club.
I don't think I have, Coach. Glad to have you on the show, sir.
Well, glad to be here, and let's have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun. I had the pleasure one time of joining Coach Jones on his Sirius XM radio show one time.
Oh, nice.
Which was an absolute blast.
Yeah.
When I was over there with St. Joe, having a lot of fun, doing some pretty fun tournaments. But anyway, Coach, obviously you've got the NCAA regionals coming up here again. You guys kind of seem to be a staple of those regional appearances. Is that about 16 in a row? Is that about right?
I think so. I do think so.
And, throughout your career, you've had quite the career there at FSU. 2-time ACC Coach of the Year, 2008, 2015, 2 top 5 NCAA National Championship finishes in 2010 and 2021. 6 straight NCAA championship finals appearances from 2012 to 2017, 33 tournament wins in most in school history, and which is we were just talking about as you were coming in, just how difficult it is to win a college golf tournament because the competition is so darn good. But just kudos to everything you've been able to do over there, and you've got the regionals coming up, and you guys are heading out to California. Is that correct?
That is correct. And first of all, right, I'm looking for an agent. So with what you spouted that off, I'll have you in my corner anytime. But,
hey, you just let me know, and I'll be there.
It is hard to win. It's hard to win in golf and anything. Player on the PGA Tour wins once every 2 years, and they keep their job.
Yeah.
So a long time. So
it's like a weatherman.
It's hard. There's a lot of things out of your control. You can't control the other people, and fortunately, sometimes it's about how good your bad is, not how good your good is, and that's what we work toward is making that our bad is still pretty good, And when we head out to California this week, we'll see if that holds up for us. But I like this team a lot and have a lot of confidence in them.
And you've got some guys that have been on the team for a few years and been playing really well for you. Talk about your season leading up to the regionals, and you guys got a couple victories this year. Is that correct?
We have, and we play a tough schedule for this reason. We want to make sure when we get to this point in time of the season, because in all honesty, it doesn't matter until now. Very similar to basketball. You could ask Virginia in basketball, right? I mean, they had a good year, but no, they didn't. They get bounced. But so it's the same thing. But we've got 3 players who were on one of those teams that you said mentioned that finished 5th in the national championship, but they were all freshmen 3 years ago. Now they're juniors. They're different players, have different roles. And we have 2 outstanding freshmen. So while we do have a very talented team, we still don't have a senior on this team.
Pretty unbelievable.
And it's an exciting and it's a hungry group. But they're very talented, obviously. They're overcoming their coaching right now, Ryan, a lot.
I don't know if I believe that. Oh, goodness. And I know Cole, I'm guessing you were talking about Cole, Brett, and Frederick. Is that who you're talking about, the freshmen that were part of that team?
Right. So they were freshmen the year that Vincent Norman, who's playing great on the PGA Tour, and John Pack, who was the Jack Nicklaus Award winner, Ben Hogan winner, which is the equivalent to the Heisman Trophy for college golf. So these 3 freshmen came in to 2 players in front of them were arguably the top 1-2 punch in the country. So their job was obviously not to screw it up. Now their job's to lead it. So. And they've started to figure that out.
So the NCAA regional tournament, that's a 54-hole event, which most of your regular season events are all 54-hole events. What kind of, we've been talking about golf all week. Obviously, it's our first week of the show, heavy golf-centric, and talking about preparation and not letting the moment get too big and all that stuff. And you guys playing some big-time tournaments going all over the place, even traveling down to Mexico. Preparation the same. I know they're coming off finals week. Everything, business as usual, not letting the moment get too big and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we got Awakening experience last time out at the ACC tournament where we finished 5th, and we went in as a 2 seed. We didn't putt the ball well there at all, and we had really worked on that all year long, and it just went away from us. The week before, we putted phenomenal. So I guess it's one of those things that happens. But if you look at our team at the ACC tournament, we lost 6 shots around to comparable to what they had done 2 weeks before that. So that's 18 total shots. No one's good enough to give that up. And that kind of set us back. So that's an awakening call for them. And you're right. They just finished finals. Have a player that's graduating here in 30 minutes, which is really cool for Cole Anderson to be graduating. And the rest of the guys are relieved. You guys know how it is. I had a team meeting this morning at 9 o'clock. Looking out, and I looked in their eyes, the guys are done, right? And they're like, thank you. Yes. Like, school's over. Everybody remembers that last day of school. And today was that for Florida State.
Well, and that's a crazy situation. I mean, you talk about other, some of the other, big sports, and golf always seems to line up every year when you're going into your postseason right at finals time as well. So talk about extra pressure and trying to maintain that focus going into that NCAA regional tournament. Talk. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Coach.
No, I was just going to say we all, they're student athletes, and it's important to them and important to their family, but they're here to play golf. That's their love. That's their passion. So we're having to kick them off of the driving range. We're having to tell them, hey, guys, you can't come out. You need to be studying. You need to be doing this. And that's a good problem to have. But we know where their hearts are. But in 15 to 20 years, they'll look back and be really happy that they did both.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Coach, PGA Tour or LIV? Just curious.
Oh, here we go. Wow.
Shooting right out the gate. I was going to keep talking about your team, but Jay's just firing from the, and he's got to walk both sides of it because he's got alum in both tours. And hey, just for the record, I am pro anything golf. I get a lot of flack from a lot of our members and older people around the area. I didn't mean that to be ageism, but it seemed the older golf demographic seems to be very anti-live. But I'm like, the more golf on TV, the more golf people are talking about, the more people are coming out of the golf course, playing golf, spending money in the golf shop, talking about golf, good, bad, or indifferent. So
we can pivot to another question.
No, I want to hear it now. You fired it. Let's go.
Let's go with it. So probably a better, a little more specific. I can let you think of that as I'm getting through this one. But obviously with Brooks, he's our marquee player for Florida State, and he was inducted into our Hall of Fame this year, and he came back. He's one of those guys that does a ton of stuff for us, and he flew us to their last tournament. He'll send a jet here, do this, do that. He never wants anything for it. He'd be mad if I'm telling everybody about it half the time. But with that, and you have to look at every situation, singularly. You have an injured player. You have someone that doesn't know how long he's going to be able to play and needs to play a limited schedule. And Brooks he wouldn't mind me telling him, this is a guy who didn't come from a lot of money. I mean, when he was here, he had to watch what he ate. He had to watch what, the money he spent. He worked his tail off and knew that golf was going to be his avenue. And he just wants to go to where he can play golf and he can compete against great people and, provide for himself and his family. And he's certainly done that, and he's healthy again. But like I said, I'm proud of him. I mean, obviously, the social media world knows that he's got a son on the way, and he's going to be a great dad. But anybody that makes those decisions, until you know all the information, then it's your opinion. Doesn't mean it's the right opinion. It's just an opinion on everybody, what everybody thinks about it. And I think a lot of us, given the same situation, if someone offered it to us, would probably be in a deep conversation either way.
Yeah, pretty hard to turn down that kind of stuff, and especially when he's still getting to play in all the major championships. You had to be excited to see him right there in the mix at Augusta on Saturday and Sunday, I should say.
It's probably the one time a year, other than when my team travels down to where near he lives, where I get a lot of communication with him. It's kind of funny, He texts me during majors. He's bored. He wants to not think about other stuff, and literally, go out and playing like he did and having the communication back and forth. Just knowing how much he likes that environment. And he said, he told me, he said, Coach, I quit doing what I needed to do. He said, I went out there to win the golf tournament, and then I tried not to lose it. And I think we all as golfers have done that, right?
Oh, yeah.
We've all, on whatever level, have played a really good 9 holes and your best 9 ever, then you tried not to lose it. And that just shows you they're human, and it's a hard game. Once again, it's hard to win.
Well, and it's, you keep the foot on the gas to what got you there, but it's that fear of that gas pedal ends up, going off the road, and it costs you the tournament. But just awesome to see him there, and, was really excited. We were pulling for him around here, that's for sure.
Yeah. And he had Ludacris at his 33rd birthday, right? Did I see that? Yeah. But anyway.
I was there with him, and that was a new one for me. He came over to me and said, "Hey, Coach, my wife Kathy, you might want to hang around here later. I have a surprise for you." And his agent's a friend of mine. And I looked at him. He said, "It's got to happen after midnight, for contract reasons or whatever else." I said, "What are we talking about?" and and once again, I do have a radio show, so I'm going to be long-winded. So you guys don't have to be. Y'all have to do it in the other segment.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're talking to you.
That's right. So I'm out there earlier in the day at the beach and sitting out there and just swimming around and doing whatever else, and whatever else. And I'm just telling on myself at this point. And then when 12 o'clock came and Ludacris came out, the guys that I was hanging out with for the previous 2 hours, that was Ludacris, and I had no idea.
Oh, that's awesome. That's crazy. Yeah, I did. I saw that obviously on social media the other day, and I told Jay, and he's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, Luda at your birthday party. That's when you know you've made it, and you're doing just fine when Luda's coming to hang out with you at your birthday party."
That's right. Well, I think Brooks paid him a lot of money to let him sing with him, because Brooks sang as much as he did that night.
That's awesome. How much fun for them. Enjoying it for sure. Pivoting back away from that talk, back to your team season this year. You guys played 10 tournaments, and you didn't finish outside the top 5 but one time, winning 2 of those tournaments and in your spring season. You won 2 out of your last 4 tournaments. You guys took home the victory. You think that kind of momentum that you have, I know the ACC championship wasn't as good as you wanted to do, the putting kind of let you down, but you think that momentum, really winning a tournament, tied for 4th, and then winning a tournament going in the ACC championship is really going to keep that going into the regionals?
Well, there's never a bad time to play good, and there's never a good time to play bad. So, and we all know that, because when you're playing good, you think you can never play bad again. You know, I've got it figured out. But when you're playing bad, you wonder if you're ever going to play good again. So I think having this break has helped us after the ACC tournament. And truthfully, when your program's at a point where you finish 3 shots out of second or third place at the ACC tournament, and that's disappointing. That's actually a positive in itself too. I once again, I like where we're at. I think we'll be fine. Going to California is something that, as a golfer, you got to be ready to travel and go wherever. And we're going, we'll talk about it, about not making excuses. We got to get out there and adapt and play that type of golf better than the other teams. And there's 13 teams there that have earned it, and the top 5 come out. Like I said, we think the consistency, like you said, of us having finished in top 5 every week. The one we didn't was Olympia Fields, which is one of the best tournaments in the country. I think our consistency, our toughness, has helped us be that consistent.
Well, and you talk about the tournament schedule y'all play and how difficult it is, and that's for a reason, to prepare you for these runs at the national championship. Talk about a little bit about the golf courses. I know you have a tournament right here in this neck of the woods at your home club. I believe that was played at Shark's Tooth this year. Is that correct?
That was correct. Yeah, we look forward to that event, and you can thank Ryan. That there's no way that event happened without your support and where it happens. And it's become what we believe is the best tournament in February in college golf. And it continues to get better, and it will only continue to do that. But we love playing over there. We've got so many friends in Panama City and in the Panhandle, and to be able to get away and to bring other teams and don't know how great that area is. And hopefully hopefully they'll want to come back.
And that's the goal. And we work with Lipscomb University now at Bay Point and host their Lady Bison Classic every year for those exact reasons, just getting people to come down to Panama City Beach, Destin 30A, Panama City, all these areas that, a lot of people, it's a lot more known now, obviously, but the more times we can get people from all over the place coming down, we get people coming back and vacationing, and it just works, and kind of everybody's working towards that same goal. And just for us, being able to support college golf, and, Jay does a wonderful job with our junior programs and really trying to make sure these high schools locally are getting better kids coming through is just so important to what we do. So to know that was very happy to be a part of getting that rocking and rolling, and that was one of my favorite moments at my time over there at St. Joe was the at the time the Camp Creek Seminole Invitational, which I know now is the Water Sound Invitational. Coach, we got a break coming up. You mind if we hold you for one more segment, talk a little bit more about golf and your team and all sorts of fun stuff. Maybe Jay will ask you some more exciting questions, but
absolutely, let's do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. You can listen all the way from Destin down to Mexico Beach on 104.3. You can jump, once you hit Mexico Beach, jump on 101.9, ride it all the way down the Forgotten Coast to Apalachicola, and then up to our friends in the north, Mariana, all the way up to Dothan, including Donaldsonville, Georgia. Donaldsonville, Georgia. That's a mouthful. We'll be right back. We've got Coach Trey Jones on the line from FSU.
Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Texas A&M. Now, Jim, this is embarrassing. You got the money, all the players you want, the greatest class ever. Texas A&M had 3 people drafted.
Coach, they were freshmen last year. None of them. I mean, we're young. You got to remember we're young.
I apologize. Not really.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The new Smokin' Triple Stack at Firehouse Subs is stacked high with honey ham, smoked turkey, and slow-smoked beef brisket. To top it off, a portion of every purchase helps provide life-saving equipment to first responders. The Smokin' Triple Stack Sub. Get it for a limited time, only at Firehouse Subs. Participating U.S. locations. Firehouse of America, LLC, and Firehouse Subs suppliers together will donate 0.09% of purchases in 2023 at Firehouse Subs locations to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation for the purchase of life-saving equipment with a minimum donation of $1 million.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Suffer from political talk radio fatigue? Tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. This is the final segment of our first week. Hard to believe our first week's in the books. This has been fun. I've had a blast this week. Looking forward to doing it again next week.
Me too.
You know what? I'm going to touch on one thing before we jump back in with Coach Jones. So last night, Liam had a baseball game, also had a volleyball game, had a coach we talked about earlier. I wore my shirt that I sent you a picture of. Not one person said anything.
You're kidding me.
I was so disappointed. David, I got a shirt that said just a bit outside with his picture on it, and not one person at the baseball game said anything about it.
You're at the wrong ballpark then.
That's right. I think if I was at Sudeth Park, it would have been a lot better.
There you go.
But yeah, so you are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. We have Coach Trey Jones, the FSU Director of Golf and head men's golf coach on the line. Hey, Coach, I was looking at some of y'all's stats in the break. Your average tournament score for the team, 281.13. That is insane. You've got, I think, 3 or 4 players averaging under 71 for tournaments. What can you attest that to? I mean, it just got to be your fantastic recruiting.
Well, it's a testament to them, that's for sure. Our team strength is ball striking. When I go recruit, I just feel like that we can help them putt, but in today's world, you have to be athletic and you have to be able to get up on a big golf course. And this team really ball striking. I think we're leading the country in par 3 scoring, and as you know, that's probably one of the hardest things to do is make threes on par 3s. And that depth right there with those guys. So. We have, I think our top player, Cole Anderson's ranked 12th or 14th in the country. So we do it a little bit by committee. And you have to have 2 dudes, man. You can't go in there and say, okay, I've got, a bunch of 3 men on your team and they're all average. Someone has to step up every week because you just simply can't lose a lot to the top, and you need someone competing for that tournament title. And these guys are starting to do that.
Yeah, it's just, even though I was looking at the freshmen you were talking about that are absolute studs, well, averaging under 71, it's pretty darn impressive for Jack. That's crazy. But so when you jumped, I was going to ask a question, but you kind of jumped into it about the recruiting. How does the recruiting work for golf? You finish your season. Hopefully, you guys end up bringing home a national championship this year. Is it year-round recruiting for you as well, or how does the recruiting work on the golf side?
It is a little bit. When most junior golf tournaments are held, it's when they're not in school, because obviously the kids are in school. So if it's a holiday, it could be Easter or whatever else. The Christmas break a little bit, but during the summer, you're just gone every week. So we'll once the NCAA ends, then we'll have our golf camp that we have here in Tallahassee every year. The second that tournament ends, the camp ends, and I'll probably be in Tallahassee a total of about 4 or 5 days until August. So it is just watch, and we're only bringing in 2 a year. That's a weird thing about it. But you have to watch them a lot of times, and it's not easy to get out to get to see them sometimes. So I want to see them play good. I want to see them play bad. I want to see how they handle different things, because making a mistake when you're only signing 1 or 2 can really set your program up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Coach, is it a prerequisite to have 2 international players to win a national championship?
It's definitely not, but different teams have different formulas. Yeah. And whatever works for Oklahoma State doesn't work for Oklahoma. What works for Florida might not work for Florida State. Our personal things a little bit on the coaching side and a little bit of where we are in Florida. Florida's really, really attractive to players from the Northeast, but it's also attractive internationally. People want to come to Florida to play golf. You have 6 tour events a year here. So with that being said, that's a natural attraction that we don't have to work, where a school maybe like Auburn or somewhere else may not have that. So we have assistant coach Robert Duck is from England. So by having an international coach cuts down a little bit on the chase time. So that's been very beneficial to us as well. But one of the things that the international players do when they come in is they're serious about it. You don't leave your family, your friends, your support staff, and come over here and party and go crazy and do other stuff. So when they come here, they're here to play golf, and they're here to go to school, here to play golf. They're making sacrifices, and just having that on the team and the other players seeing that is contagious.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at – so when you're – I'm curious, because I'm not around a lot of international guys, that are good golfers, but is their ball flight a lot lower, being from, GB and I versus over here? Is it just a whole different game?
It just depends on that type of player, but their ball flight might not be lower, but they can hit it lower. They understand it. They understand playing the game, and then you have the Scandinavians that are way more technical, like Frederick Ketrup is on our team.
Yeah.
If you put Freddie over here and Jack Bigham over here, you put them both behind a tree, to hear their thought processes. Jack is going to be easy. Freddie's going to be trying to figure something different out. So definitely they learn how to play the game from the green backwards, not from a flat tee box, which is really cool for us to be out there with them and to see. Now, the ones that really, really can keep it down are the players from Texas. You get a Texas, Oklahoma player, a junior golfer from there. It is unbelievable how they can keep it down. Yeah. So they even have a little bit more of that than sometimes the international do.
Coach, we were talking a little bit about Brooks earlier, and you've had, in your tenure there at FSU, you've had some serious big-time people that have gone on to have very successful PGA Tour careers. What do you attest that to with the Florida State program and the tournaments you're playing in? And, why have you been able to have some of these guys come in that you've obviously recruited and developed but have just been so successful at the next level? What do you attest that to?
I think, I would like to think that, one, they're great players, and they were probably going to figure it out either way, is what we do here helps them figure it out a little faster. And if we can do that, and we can get them on the PGA Tour 1 year quicker, then that's worth $1 million to them.
Yeah.
And so we don't take that lightly when a player comes to us and says they want to be here. They're giving us their dreams, they're giving us their goals, and we work with them every single day. It's a labor of love, and it's a different type of player nowadays, but I think the book on us and our staff is we're really tough on them, and we're really fair to them as well. They know where we're at, but there's no easy days here. I can just tell you today for 2.5 hours, we had a short game thing that we made them do, and we made them draw back every putt that they missed, draw it back. And you can imagine how frustrating that gets. But you have to do that. You have to do that to great players to challenge them. If you just set up a normal thing that would be good for the three of us, they'd get bored with it. So it's challenge them, making them uncomfortable, and then hopefully down the road they look back on it and it's expedited their success, even though they probably would have got there either way.
Yeah, but that, like you said, one quicker year is worth $1 million. I think that's a pretty good recruiting pitch for sure. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I was going to say, Trey, is there one particular person that kind of came into your life years ago that kind of maneuvered you into a coaching position? Is there one person that you can think of that helped you along?
Oh, 100%. My dad. Cool. My dad played college basketball. My dad. Very athletic. He was always there with me. Mm-hmm. I kind of knew I wanted to coach something. I didn't know what I wanted to coach because, like a lot of guys that are 55 years old, played every sport, and just depending on what season was in, and always looked up to my coaches. And I felt like in college golf was missing that type of coach. At the time, there were a lot of volunteer coaches, a lot of people that were coaching college golf because they're, they're doing something else. So, fortunately, the game has changed. As you said, with your junior program that you have out there and the interest and the great places like Bay Point, golf's never been in a better place that I can remember with doing that. But it's an awesome question. And I would say it's my dad, and then some of the other good coaches and some of the coaches that weren't so good probably had an effect on that as well.
Yeah, that's great. Great answer.
So I was looking up the golf course that y'all are going to play out there in California, the Institute Golf Club. I was trying to look up some information on it, and you can't really find anything on the internet. No. Apparently, it's an extremely ultra-private club. And plays very long. Do you guys, I know Seminole is an absolutely fantastic facility, and it was built to help the golf teams prepare for these tournaments. So is the golf course doing stuff these next couple of weeks to simulate what you guys are going to be facing over there?
Fortunately, we don't have to. It's that way. And
by design, it's already tough.
It's that way, and I met with the superintendent this morning. He wants to know what we wanted, what we needed. But we really don't have to tweak it too much. If you can keep your green in that 11 range, then you're never going either way. You don't really know what you're going, into too much at True 11. But it has been really beneficial to the players and a lot of fun for them as well to have this type of facility here. And you're right about this golf course. It's one I think that does about 12 rounds a day. The prize electronic people built it, and I can't find anybody that's played it, and I've tried. So it's a good thing too. That means no one else has either.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. I was reading up a little bit about it while y'all were talking, and one of the reviews, it's not really a review for the course, it says the best course you will never play.
So there's the Augusta National of the West Coast.
Yeah, well, they said there's copy holes of 12, 13, and 15 at Augusta, but it's tips play about 7,800 yards, but if nobody's ever played it before, I would say that probably plays into y'all's advantage a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope so, but it's going to be a great experience either way. But we're out there to do a job and to get play, and I hope it's big, and I hope because, like I said, that's what our guys do. They stand up and hit it. So and it's not too tricked out.
Well, what an awesome opportunity, too. I mean, you make it to the NCAA regionals and you guys get selected to travel. Of course, long travel all the way across the country. But, if I was I'd be excited to play a course like this for sure. And you guys play some really amazing facilities along the way. And, another recruiting tool, I would think, that would be good to get guys on board that are off to the courses that they get to play.
Yeah. No question. I mean, that's got to be your thing with recruiting. You want to play against the best players on the best places you can. And every coach looks at their regional and feels like they have a terrible regional. I've never been – the only one that I thought I had a great regional, I was hosting. So we all feel that way. But the parity in college golf, the parity in athletics is certainly there. So there's a lot of work to do, and we kind of started the third segment with golf is hard. It's hard to win, and we know it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we got our show is coming up to an end here, Coach. I very, very much appreciate you joining us. Hopefully we can get you every once in a while, because we're trying to, and the golf is big in this area, but we're trying to enlighten all of our golf fans out there as much as we can. And we will obviously be pulling for Florida State in the regional out there and following along, and I know you guys will play well. So good luck. Thank you for joining us, and maybe we'll touch base after you guys go on to the national championship.
Anytime. You guys are going to have a great show. We're fortunate you guys do this, and I'm not ultra superstitious, but if we go out and play great, I'm going to expect to be asked to come back on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
You got it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate you very much, and good luck, and go Noles.
Go Noles.
Have a good weekend. Go Noles.
That was some good stuff there, Jay. I mean, reading up about this course, I didn't even realize, the exclusivity, ultra-private course you'll never be able to probably play. I mean, and to be able to play in an NCAA regional is pretty dang cool. The Institute Golf Club, remember that name, and maybe we'll get to see a little bit on TV as well at the Golf Channel.
7,800 yards. That's, just for all you golf fans out there, that's about 900 yards more than Bay Point from
the back tees. Yeah, absolutely. We are coming up at the end of our show. Jay, it's been an awesome, fun week. Really enjoyed it. We look forward to doing it again next week, having a lot of fun. We appreciate all our sponsors, Bill Kramer Chevrolet GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor, as well as South Oak Title and Closing. Come out and play some golf at Bay Point Golf Club. Visit Bar 72. We got brunch this Sunday starting at 11 to 2 with live music from Mark Snaps. And, of course, go buy some real estate from Beach House Sales and Development and get some lessons from Jay.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy the rest of your week. Go Devils. We'll see you on Monday.
Have a good weekend.
I don't need a whole lot of money.
ESPN Northwest Florida is already your home for the most live and local sports talk. And now